let's play it for everybody again in case you just joined us. Trevor May, reliever for the A's, 9-year career, announcing a retirement, puts this on social media yesterday with regard to A's owner John Fisher.
And I just want to know, now that it's official, to the A's organization and every single person part of it, I love all of you. Every single one of you except for one guy. We all know who that guy is. Sell the team, dude. I tried to get a sell shirt. It didn't get here fast enough. Sell it, man. Let someone who actually takes pride in the things they own something. There's actually people who give a shit about the game. Let them do it. Take mommy and daddy's money somewhere else.
All right, that is a good portion of what Trevor May had to say. Trevor now joins us live. Hello, my friend. That was pretty interesting.
Hello. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing I'd love to ask is, in a 9-year career, you're only with the A's for 1 year. And in that 1 year, you already had that much emotion sort of build up on the subject. So how did that all come together after just 1 year with the franchise?
Yeah, from the outside, joining the organization, I knew, and I said this stuff when I signed in my initial interviews, was just, A's fans are kind of famous around the league for being rowdy and really, really the crazies love their team and we love them. And that was very exciting for me. It was always playing against the 2015 team and the 2014 team where I made my debut. I made my debut there, and the cowbell out in left field and all that kind of stuff was going. And it was a really special, really welcome to the big leagues atmosphere. And that sounded really fun to be on the other side of that. And even with how the season went, and even with how the team was expected to be, there was still a lot of that going on. And as we know, the big theme was sell. There was a lot of that stuff going on, but the passion just kind of switched over there. But even with everything going on, the support for the players and the staff and everyone that works at the park is just it's just constant, and it feels like a big family. And I knew about making this decision for, I think, longer than a lot of people know. And so I approached this season with a little bit of a different mindset than I have in the past. And I really tried to take in that part of it, the magic of being a Major League Baseball player. And that just made the seemingly indifferent owner seem even worse. It just seemed like, how can you not love this? It was a question that I could not find an answer for, and I still haven't to this day. A lot of the things that I said yesterday, and I'll be honest, I was not planning on doing that. And it just kind of, someone said something, I saw it on the screen, and something clicked, and I felt like weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, wow, I can finally say how I feel, and that's what came out of my mouth. I do regret the amount of swearing I did, and maybe a little bit more name calling than I'm not proud of that. I don't like to do that. I like to try to be as respectful as I can and just make coherent points. But the point still stands. There are owners around this league that genuinely are fans of their team. And I just don't know why there is this desire to be a part of a league when you just don't seem to care at all.
Well, on behalf of A's fans, Trevor, thank you, because you expressed many, many things and many frustrations that they've been feeling not only this year, but in many years as this thing has slowly kind of crept into the abyss. Is your distaste and your dislike for the owner, is it direct through experiences and conversations you had with him, or more indirect in what you saw go on around you as a player?
I had no choice for it to be indirect because he does not come to the field and hasn't for years. So no one has seen him in a very long time, which is I think that making the assumption that he's not comfortable facing the backlash is probably a correct one, but there's no way to know, and that's basically the most of it for me. I played a sport where like accountability and ownership is like the thing that you have to learn as a player. You have to, and no one has any patience for someone who doesn't take accountability for their actions. And why is it that the person that is at the top of the pyramid has to take zero responsibility for anything they do? It's frustrating, and it's disrespectful. And I think at the end of the day, there's only so much that people who aren't the owner can do about a team moving, or how much ticket prices are, or any of those things. The business side of things is just it's his thing. And what he wants is going to go, and there's very, very little you can do with it. And I accept that. I just wish, and I want, after talking to friends and fans around the park, and just people who are there, people who worked there for so long. Like, I don't know if people know this, but the A's have some of the longest tenured employees of any organization. It's as close-knit and loyal as it gets, and they feel unheard. Like, this is painful for them, and the person that's making the decision is unwilling to acknowledge that they're in pain. And that, for me, after all of the things that I had to work through this year to enjoy playing the game, it was a major part of that was noticing those things and having human connections with as many people as possible. That's what got me through it. And when I saw them in pain and just frustrated, it's a lot of shrug and throw your hands up and like, nothing I can do. And I just couldn't accept that. And someone's got to go to bat for them. Someone's just got to say, hey, if you just acknowledge what you're doing, I think, it's probably, people aren't going to be happy. That's just not going to happen. But that will go a long way with, hey, I'm doing this for this reason. If you guys don't understand, I can't do anything about that. But here's my reasoning, and I'm doing it. And that's ownership. And he's as far from that as he possibly can be. And it's just extremely disrespectful to me.
He had 21 saves for the Oakland A's last year. Trevor May, a 9-year big league career, joining us on Willard and Dibs after his now viral social media post with regard to A's owner John Fisher. Trevor, what kind of interaction do you guys as players have with him throughout the year, if any?
Zero. None. We did. I've only met. I didn't meet many. I don't think I met anyone above the GM level in the organization. I think that's pretty common. I mean, that's not. That's not rare. I think there's some organizations that the ownership group actually isn't at the field as much, or there's not one owner or whatever it is, and that interaction is limited in a lot of other places. So that's not unique, but. From people who had been around for years and years and years, they're like, that's something that you don't count on it. And now that we're close, they notice. Just everyone notices. It's not like they're like, oh wow, I haven't seen. No, they're acutely aware that the person that is running the show is not around and not approachable. And as I feel for the people that I was under that. Under the stands with down in the locker room and things, the staff and the executives that are supposed to make decisions and supposed to, enact a plan. And I feel that, I don't know. I'm not in those rooms. I don't know how this works. I don't know how much that communication's happening. But if they don't have that much communication with them, like how do you do your job as well as you can if you don't know what the person who hired you wants? And so it's this isn't even. This is a little bit of conjecture, but I feel for those guys because I bet it's not that easy, and everyone's just doing their best, and that was something I really respected about every single person in that organization that I interacted with. Is every single one of them was doing their best every single day to get us everything we needed and to put the best product out on the field, and that's the on the field staff, that's the front office, that is. The cooks and the clubhouse staff and everybody, they were top-notch, world-class, just doing their best and trying to get to get through it.
So, Trevor, is it safe to say that there are a lot more players who feel like you do?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm being completely honest. You know, we have a lot of really young guys who this is all really new for them. You know, and a lot of them, it's the only thing they've known. So it's kind of normal. But you know, it's with a very young team. And if I were in my first, second, or third year in the major leagues, you know, early before a free agency, even, you know, I probably wouldn't have taken a really heavy, hard stance on it either. I was one of the veterans. I had the most service time on the team. So when guys were making comments or like this is not right or this whatever, it was me. And guys would kind of just like sit around and listen to me and not really like, you know, because they didn't feel like it was their place. And that's completely normal. And that's no one's fault. So, but, you know, would they rather it be a great situation with someone that, like, you know, you win a pennant or something and then you're going to see them in that clubhouse with you because you like being around them? Yeah, I bet you most players would prefer that situation.
How demoralizing is it as a pro, and you've been in other situations that were obviously better, when you look out and you have virtually no crowd and you've got a decrepit clubhouse and you've got facilities that are very much substandard? Does that affect how you go out there as a team and perform what you're trying to do?
I got to be completely honest. Like I did not feel that big of a difference because I'm kind of easy. I don't need a lot of things, and that's stuff that, like, I tried not to let really bother me. I liked being there. I liked, you know, with the exception of the number of stairs I had to walk up and down every day. There's a lot of stairs underneath there, guys. Anyone who's ever been,
there's a
stairwell outside of every door. So to get down to the field, it was like walking down a mountain and up a mountain over and over again. But that, you know, what are you going to do? Other than that, though, like, everything was, you know, like I said, the people were we got 100% of what we could out of the resources we had, and everyone was going above and beyond to kind of make sure that everyone had what they needed. And, you know, even when it comes to travel and all that kind of stuff, it's up there with the other organizations I've been in. And, you know, they like Mickey Morabito, the legend down there, the traveling secretary, best in the business. And he did some of the coolest, he went above and beyond for us all the time. So people were taking it upon themselves. But yes, I think that, you know, overall, when you really need something or you like, there's something you're used to having that you don't have, there's some adjustments you got to make for sure. But those are problems that can be solved, and especially if you're a little creative with it. And that's kind of how I approached it. And I didn't really have a strong feeling about that.
Trevor May is with us, 9-year reliever in the bigs with the A's last year, and made comments yesterday with regard to the ownership situation with the A's. Trevor, you said you guys had no interaction with John Fisher whatsoever. If you did, what would you say to him?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not an in-person conversation. I'm usually not a confrontational person ever. This is a first for me, guys. But I think that with enough maybe comfort level, it would be very, very, very hard to not ask. Like, you know, what are you looking for here? Like, what? Just help me understand. And that's all I want to ever do is just know the why behind something, because I am more than happy to eat my words and completely change my mind if I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. I would love to be wrong because I think that's a better situation. So yes, I think that would be, you know, what do you want from us? Like what is the goal here? I think that maybe would be the place I would start, because I think that's a good general conversation to start having like a human to human interaction.
Trevor, great to catch up with you. And by the way, what is this? Has to have been a crazy 24 hours for you. What's it been like?
Yes, it's been a whirlwind of emotions. It was the hardest decision I've had to make in my entire life. And I'll be honest, I've known for months at this point. I pushed against not saying anything publicly to go get out because I didn't want anyone to make any big deal about it while I was still playing. I just wanted my teammates to focus on their things and things they need to go. I didn't want to make it about me. And so I kept putting it off. And so pulling that Band-Aid off was really scary, but exciting and exhilarating. And so, but when that weight lifted, it was a feeling that I've never had before, which is probably what led to the amount of energy I had behind my comments.
Well, Trevor, I'll tell you what, and especially, Dibs said it to you already, but we hear from a lot of sports fans. We're looking at our YouTube chat right now. People want to say thank you for being a voice for them today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. This is something that this isn't the first time that I felt very strongly about something that was happening in the orbit of baseball. And for the first time, it feels like I have an opportunity to speak a little bit more candidly about it because I don't need the job anymore.
Right.
It's just that simple. So, but thank you to the fans commenting too. The way that the support showed up and the signs that said, "Players, we love you regardless," and just all the stuff, like they didn't need to take that road, and they did, and we know, and we felt it. And those games, the reverse boycott, and the games where the fans came out and proved a point, and they supported us. That was some of the most fun that not only I had, but a lot of the other guys in the clubhouse had ever playing a baseball game, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, it's too bad that you couldn't have played when that was the norm, when it was 35,000 crazy people out in Oakland. But unfortunately, the current ownership has made that untenable.
Yeah.
Trevor, great to catch up, man. And thank you. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, and congrats on the retirement, by the way, as well.
Got to sneak that in there.
9-year career. Trevor May, A's reliever last year.